Hello, this is Scott Pacino, editor of telecoms.com, and I'm delighted to be speaking to Dr. Ahmed Al-Sohaili, who's Group Head of Technology at Red Sea Global. So could you start by just telling us about Red Sea Global's sustainable development strategy, please?
Absolutely, and thank you for having me. So Red Sea Global is one of the world's most ambitious developers, and we're developing the world's first zero carbon tourist destination, the Red Sea destination, which is also going to be joined by the Amala destination. Red Sea destination is actually opening this year. We just opened our airport, the Red Sea International Airport, and we already have 2 hotels taking reservations, the Six Senses Seven Dunes, as well as the St. Regis Red Sea Hotel. So what I want to stress is that our approach for sustainability, because it's the company's slogan. Our slogan is for the people and the planet. And our approach is not superficial. It's not, oh, we're just going to use renewable energy and just use some solar farms and call it a day. No, it's so thorough, and we take it so seriously to this extent. For example, we have the world's largest zero carbon grid. So we're not on the national grid. We have our own grid that is powered by more than 750,000 solar panels. We also have the world's largest battery storage system at more than 1 gigawatt hour capacity. That's going to be powering not just the hotels, but the entire infrastructure supporting the destination, from the airport to the residential areas, transportation, you name it. So our transportation is all zero carbon as well, between electric cars, electric buses, electric boats, and even hydrogen-powered seaplanes. We're also doing zero waste to landfill. And all the buildings we're building are platinum LEED rated. We're free of single-use plastics just because of how bad they are to the environment. And we are not preserving the environment. We are growing it. We have a mandate to grow the ecosystem, the ecological ecosystem of the destinations we develop by more than 30%. So we're talking about a 30% net conservation overall effect over the next 10, 15, 20 years. All of that combined, gives you a very sustainable development and with very sustainable destinations.
That's great. Well, it certainly sounds like it, and it's really great to hear examples of really concrete, tangible, substantial things being done in a sustainable direction. Because as you alluded to right at the start, sometimes those gestures can seem a bit superficial, but that's certainly not the case from what you've just described. So if I could just drill down, obviously I'm the editor of a telecoms website. Could you tell us a little bit more about how this affected the planning for your 5G network?
Sure. So being a sustainable destination is one of 4 reasons we're providing you with to visit us. The first reason is the Red Sea itself. It's a wonder. It's a marvel of nature. The coral reefs, the marine life, hundreds of species that only exist there. Second reason is, as we said, is sustainable. And if you want to have a zero carbon vacation, that's the place to go. Third reason is the unique designs and the unique nature of the destination itself. So, for example, our first hotel opening, the Six Senses Seven Dunes, it's designed to be like an oasis in the middle of the desert. Next year, we're opening the Desert Rock Hotel, which we're literally drilling in a mountain. It's like one of a kind. Even the islands we're developing, Shibara Island opening next year as well. It's that the resort is designed with floating villas, with mirror-like painting to reflect the sky and the water. And the placement of the villas is designed to be like a necklace with a pendant in the middle being the welcome center. So if you've been keeping count, that's 3. The fourth ace we have is that we're going to provide our guests and visitors with a very unique experience. Because we're developing the entirety of the destination, that allows us to do a lot of cool things using technology. For example, once you land in our airport, you're not going to see luggage carousels. It's just a welcome center. Why? Because we've integrated the airport with all hotels and the destination. So we'll welcome you. We'll put you on a nice ride, electric car. or a seaplane to your destination. And when you check in, your luggage is going to be there. And when you check out, so that saves you 45 minutes of agony. Find the luggage, pick up the luggage. Oops, wrong luggage. Find the luggage, pick up the luggage, drag the luggage, so on and so forth. Vice versa, when you check out, it's the same thing. The front desk is going to take your luggage and say, "I'll take care of that for you." Um, and why are we talking about this? Essentially, we're obsessed with providing our guests with a very unique experience. So the tech relieves you from all um, pains of travel, pains of transportation. The fleet management system we've designed ensures that you're not going to wait for more than 5 minutes for a ride anywhere on the destination. Um, Combine that with the unique nature we have, lots of water sports, lots of hiking, lots of adventures. So we're talking about creating very memorable experiences, creating special moments that our guests are going to want to share with their loved ones. So we're going to need very robust and efficient connectivity to run all these smart applications that we're building. At the same time, we need best-in-class 5G connectivity so that our guests can share at any time, anywhere on the destination, those special moments that they're going to be experiencing with us. So that's the motive and driver for us to provide the connectivity. Now, 5G as a technology, as you know, depending on the configuration you use, the power consumption can blow up. So we had to do extra effort, extra work with our partners to make sure that the network we deploy uses the right frequencies, the right balance between bandwidth, number of frequency bands, MIMO configuration, so on and so forth, using the least amount of towers that were strategically placed. And in fact, we didn't even use towers in the 6 Senses Southern News. The reference 5G deployment, the first one that we deployed, people thought that deploying 5G on renewable energy was impossible, but we actually managed to pull it off. So what made that unique was two things. First of all, the configuration itself being super efficient in power without sacrificing with power consumption, without sacrificing the quality of the service being delivered. We're talking about 5G speeds exceeding 2 gigabits per second per user, based on the tests that we've conducted. And at the same time, the way we've done it, we haven't even used towers. So we picked multiple hills, and one of them nearby mountains, and we just placed rooftop antennas. And then we use 3D printing to build a rock enclosure that looks like a rock, but it's not rock, it's fiberglass. So that you go there, you don't even notice it. Like there's a bunch of rocks over there, and one of them is actually providing you with some of the fastest 5G connections in the world. So I think that's what made it unique. Two things, the 5G configuration itself, and then the way we presented it so that, the serene environment that we have is not impacted by any kind of visual distortion.
Great. Well, that's very impressive. And I'll say another thing as a telecoms journalist, it sounds like you've got a lot of 5G use cases that other people could look to at a time where, to be honest, since 5G's launched, some of the use cases have been a bit thin on the ground. So hopefully that will inspire some other people. Okay, so just to finish off, everything that we've just spoken about, is talking about how we've got to where we are today. Could you give us a sense of how some of this is going to play out over the next few years?
So we're continuing with the rollout of our zero carbon 5G network in different configurations. And I don't want to spoil anything yet, but for example, because we had a desert setup and a mountain setup, and that was ideal for rock looking like camouflages. But when you're on an island, which is a flat surface, what do you do? So again, it's two tracks, the artistic track. So we're using a completely different design for the islands. And the islands, we're not trying to hide them, we're embracing them. So we designed towers that look like sculptures of art, using materials never been used before, special fabrics, so on and so forth. And we actually placed it proudly at the Welcome Center when you land at the island. So if you can't hide it, embrace it. And again, use unique designs that have never been used before. The nature of Saudi, because it has many desert locations that are being developed as resorts, a lot of them are adopting the same approach that we've used to camouflage the antennas. And at the same time, we're continuing the other track, which is the environmental one. We're continuing strictly as zero carbon destination. We're continuing with the rollout of our 5G network across the destination. Again, being very strategic in our choice of frequencies, of configurations, of placements of the antennas and towers, so that we get the best possible coverage, best possible speed, least amount of infrastructure, and being very efficient with our power consumption. So that principled discipline continues throughout our destinations. And it's interesting because now the operators we're working with, some of the techniques that we use, for example, active sharing of antennas. And they're like, you know what, this isn't bad. Let's try and use this to cover this road or this area because it's much more cost effective. Because, energy savings, even if you don't care about the environment, equals cost savings. So there is a cause to buy into. Even if you don't believe in the environmental costs, money talks. Also, the configurations of the frequencies and so on and so forth. So all of this is triggering something that I think will spill over and have an impressive and lasting impact, whether it's at our destination, across our country, or even other neighboring countries that will be adopting a similar approach.
That all makes sense. And as you say, it doesn't do any harm to have a commercial incentive to do the right thing. So yes, I agree.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, that was brilliant. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.